Mastering the science of manifestation. How can the frequency of your thoughts manifest your reality? What is the quantum physics behind manifestation, where we consider thought frequencies as realities and the universe consisting of multiple realities? And how can we use our energy or our emotions to make a quantum jump from one reality to another? How is this related to actual quantum physics? As a scientist, it is my favorite topic to explain manifestation from a very physical perspective in terms of frequencies. Back in the day, I used to be skeptical about the law of attraction. How can you just wish for things and them to come in? Now, when I actually started to study the science or the quantum physics behind manifestation, that is when I truly grasped deeper understanding and a belief of the law of attraction, because we are actually using the laws of physics in manifestation. We are using the laws of the universe and energy and frequencies in order to call in our desires. In this video, I want to make an overview of how thoughts are frequencies, how you can quantum jump from one thought frequency to another, and how can the frequency of your thought then actually manifest into reality. This is also related to a paper that Einstein recently wrote in 1936 on the law of assumption. And how can you master the science of manifestation? Let me get into it. My name is Davy. I am a PhD student in chemical engineering at the University of Cambridge. And in my free time, I love to study things related to psychology, self-development, the law of attraction. And my favorite topic to explore is the quantum physics behind manifestation. How is manifestation and spirituality actually related to science? And I also want to get into how you can use the frequencies of your thoughts and tuning your thought frequency to create and manifest your desires. Before I get into it, I am launching my very own manifestation course, Mastering the Science of Manifesting, which is launching today on the 11th of January. If you want to know more about that, go to davycitram.com and you can read more about that course. And in the end of the video, I'll explain a little bit more about what the course actually will contain if you want to skip to that part. I want to explain how thoughts are frequencies. How does that actually work? How can switching to a different thought frequency actually create a different reality? Now, the first concept to understand for understanding the science behind manifestation is that thoughts are actually frequencies. And when I talk about frequencies, I am talking about the same thing that light is made up of. So light is made up of frequencies, right? It is a form of electromagnetic radiation. So it consists of waves. We also know this about sound. Now, when we look at particles on an atomic scale or subatomic scale, like electrons, atoms, etc., these were traditionally in science always considered as particles as well. In the 1900s, Heisenberg established that these atomic particles actually also have a frequency. They also can behave as waves. And from this understanding, the concept arose where actually everything is frequency. Everything that has an energy has also a frequency. Now, the uncertainty principle of Heisenberg is a law that describes that particles that have a mass also have a frequency. But these properties cannot exist at the same time. Whenever something has a mass and we can measure it, we cannot measure the frequency at the same time. These properties are mutually exclusive to be measured at the same time. As I said, light is a form of electromagnetic signals. They have done brain measurements on thoughts. And what they have found is that upon thinking, the brain also demonstrates electromagnetic signals, which implies that thoughts are frequencies as well. And they've done different measurements on different brains in different states, relaxed, excited, deep sleep, and drowsy. And they found that there are different frequency patterns associated with these states. Now, the conclusion that can be drawn from this is that thoughts are, like actually anything in this universe, also frequency. You do have to imagine that as soon as something has a frequency, we cannot measure the mass anymore. These things are mutually exclusive, right? So we cannot locate thoughts in space and time because They spread everywhere, just like light. Light spreads everywhere as well. We cannot measure the mass of a light particle because it is constantly a wave. And this is the same for thoughts. And therefore, they've only been able to measure thought frequencies inside of the brain, but not outside of the brain, because thoughts have no mass. Now, how can we classify thoughts as different frequencies? The energy that we give to thoughts is our emotion. How much we believe in a thought or how much it resonates with us is directly related to how much emotion we give it. And this is the frequency chart of thoughts, or actually the frequency chart of emotions, which is the energy we give to thoughts. They've created this emotion spectrum where we at the bottom have shame and at the top have enlightenment, and we constantly fluctuate between these frequencies, which is our state of being. Now, a lot of people get a lot of resistance around the fact that emotion has a spectrum. How can we actually measure this physically, right? Well, there has been scientific research done on this as well, which shows the bodily map of emotions, which is measuring the muscle contractions that arise in the body upon experiencing different emotions. And this can be demonstrated as shown in the image here by research done in 2014, where we see different radiation activity when different emotions are experienced. Now, we can actually very simply see this in people as well. When people get really insecure or are afraid, we have a lot of muscle contractions in our upper body, right? So we can directly see the manifestation of energy in our body as we are resonating with different thoughts, which is our emotion. So the thought frequency has to do with the emotion that we give to thought, has to do with the energy that we give to thoughts, right? Thoughts on their own are just neutral entities, are just like channels. And the resonance of our body with a specific thought, so believing in a specific thought or really repeating that thought and going on a thought spiral, that is what is creating the frequency in our body. That is the emotion that we feel on believing a thought. Now, how can you think about thought channels and how can you think about thoughts as frequency? Thoughts are like radio channels. Now, how does manifestation work? The world, the universe, consists of all of these radio channels. Our little radio, our brain, is constantly tuning to the radio channel or reality that we are living in. Being on a specific thought frequency means aligning your little radio to a specific reality in the universe. Now, if we are on a very high frequency reality, we have a lot of good things happening to us. If we are in a low frequency reality, we have a lot of bad things happening to us. But the external circumstances or the reality that we live in the universe was based on the frequency that we were emitting. Because this is about the resonance of frequencies. Our thought frequency is constantly, or our little radio is constantly aligning with the reality that we live in. Now, this understanding of thoughts as frequencies makes sense from a physics perspective, but how can the frequency of your thoughts change your reality? And that is where the law of assumption comes in. This is also what Einstein wrote about in his Physics and Reality paper in 1936. Because the thought frequency that we are on determines our perception about reality. So what that means is our brain works in patterns. What that means is that it will pick out the things, it will observe the things that we can correlate back to something that we have already seen before. So we only perceive parts of our reality that we can correlate back to a thought that we already had before about reality. Our perception, the things that we observe, is completely filtered through the lens of the thoughts that we were already carrying about reality. So this is the same thing as like when you see something for the first time, you don't know what it is. But then when you see something multiple times, that's when we get an understanding of what it is, because then we can correlate it back to a previous experience or a previous thought that we have had about reality. Now, this is how mindset works. Because when we are in a very positive mindset, so have a lot of positive thoughts about ourselves and about reality, we will actually perceive only positive things as a result. It's literally like as if you're putting on pink glasses and only seeing the positives in life. Whilst in the exact same life experience, if you have a very negative mindset, the things that will stand out to you or the things that you can perceive can only be negative. It's like you're wearing a black glasses or whatever. You can only perceive based on what you were already thinking. So how does this actually work? Well, a person with a lot of positive thoughts in their brain already about themselves and reality will see opportunity, will see certain comments from others as compliments, will see things around them and feel motivated by them. Whilst maybe in the exact same life experience, a person with a lot of negative thoughts about reality will actually just look around and see the lack of their desires, will perceive things as criticism, even though maybe people didn't even mean it in that way. You perceive it as criticism because you were already carrying negative beliefs about yourself. We're very sensitive and perceptive for this. And when you look around, you just feel a feeling of despair and lack of direction. Now, you might notice this one day, you might wake up feeling really good, and the exact same life that you always have suddenly seems really motivating and fun, while another day when you wake up in a bad mood, you suddenly just can see the negatives. So I really want you to understand that the way we view life, the way we experience life, the things that we perceive is completely filtered through the lens of the thoughts that we were already carrying about our reality. And that is the law of attraction. And that also shows the essence and core of manifestation, which is we need to change our thoughts. In order to create a different reality, we need to change our perception of reality, and we can only do that if we create the existing thoughts in our brain, right? So that is why the core of manifestation starts with self-development, starts by changing the thoughts that you were already carrying about reality. Now, how can you do this? This is where I want to personally guide you guys. I have made a very comprehensive self-development course where I am going to teach you how to use the frequency of your thoughts to tune into your desired reality. To give you an overview of the game plan of my course, you have your current self. Your current self is resonating at a specific frequency, emitting all of these thoughts and beliefs that you have about reality, right? Then you have your past self that is probably resonating at a little bit of a lower frequency. You've probably evolved a little bit, grown a little bit, but most likely you're not too far off from your past frequency because we carry the past into the present through our memories, right? So it is not only our current frequency is often very affected by our past frequencies through our memories, through past trauma, through things we are carrying with us. In my manifestation course, we are going to define what our highest future self would look like. What frequency are they on? What does their reality look like, right? Now, in our course, I'm going to completely guide you in the 5-week transformative course to increase your present moment vibration. I'm going to guide you through journaling, through practices. There are going to be weekly teachings, all aimed around increasing your present moment vibration as much as possible. And then naturally, because we have defined what our highest future self will look like, we are going to make this quantum jump or identity shift into our highest future self. And as I said, the course is incredibly comprehensive. I am addressing all assets of self-development. That is why the course is 5 weeks as well. I am going to teach you, first of all, how to switch to different thought frequencies, how to implement different thoughts into your brain. I'm going to provide you guided affirmations. I'm going to provide you other guided practices that you can do. Now, secondly, we're going to work on the self-concept. So this is a lot about how you view yourself, the image that you have of yourself, which is directly what you manifest. Thirdly, we're going to work through the ego. I'm going to teach you practices, journaling, and teachings on identifying your triggers, identifying your past trauma, identifying your limiting beliefs and the things that are holding you back, and how to work through these so that we can cut ties with our past self and the past frequencies. Furthermore, I'm going to teach you the exact scripting techniques, visualization techniques, and other manifestation practices that you can use to rewrite your story, to get into the frequency of your highest future self. And finally, I'm going to teach you how to take action on your desires. Taking action contrary to your thoughts, contrary to what you believe. So again, overcoming limiting beliefs and knowing how to stay disciplined, how to stay motivated, and how to train yourself to take action on things despite maybe your doubts or despite maybe other limiting beliefs holding you back. So that in the final stage of the 5-week course, we can make this identity shift. We've done everything in the present moment to increase our vibration so that we naturally align with our highest future self. Every week there's a specific theme that we're going to focus on, and this starts with a teaching. Then in the course there are daily practices that I'm going to completely guide you through. So you'll get guided affirmation tracks, guided meditations, but also yoga, even an aspect about health and how to take care of your body in terms of exercise and nutrition. There are going to be daily journaling exercises for you to work on. If you are interested in the course, go to davyctram.com. The course is now live, so you can join. Each day, the new content is released, and this is all inside my website. So inside davyctram.com, you will have your little course portal where you can access the content. Now, in the course, you also have the opportunity to ask me personal questions. So whenever something about the course doesn't make sense, or you have another question about one of your manifestation, when you're part of the course, you have the opportunity to ask me questions so that I can help you as much as possible. Honestly, I have made this course truly to help you guys get from A to B. Really make sure that we go through all the steps of self-development to get to your highest future self. An investment in the self, an investment in you, is the best investment that you can make. If you follow my practices and follow my guides, this can change you on a very, very fundamental level so that you can finally get an understanding of how to get into alignment with your desires. I would truly love to see you on my course. If you have any questions, you can email me on course@davyctram.com to davyctram.com to read more about what the course contains and to sign up. Thank you so much for watching. If you made it up until here, I truly appreciate you. Definitely leave me a like if anything in this video was useful. Subscribe to my channel, that really helps. And I would love to see you in my next video. Sending you my love.